Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good evening everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessToTrade.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing well. Guys, take a moment out, support the channel. It only takes a second. Click that like button. Hopefully, again, I will continue to do my best to point you in the right direction. It'll be a little bit of an abbreviated update. I got some things last minute to take care of. I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts with you guys going into tomorrow's session. If you guys remember, on the weekend update, we closed right on the 50-day moving average. It was in last night's video. All I talked about was, again, I don't want to be overly dramatic, but whoever has control of the 50-day moving average was probably going to dictate the control for at least pretty much the short-term future, going into at least NVIDIA's earnings on Wednesday after the close. Right from the word go, again, we had a pretty aggressive pivot off last week's lows of 708.50s, and Q's lost it, right? Q's lost it very, very aggressively. The first move in the first half hour, 40 minutes, Q's went down like $6 to $7, very, very aggressively. Now, why is that important? Well, the majority of weight on the Nasdaq 100 is, implemented with the SMHs, right? The semiconductors control a lot of the weight, and the semiconductors got slammed again. Again, despite NVIDIA coming out with earnings in a couple of days, and is it possible they can, save the semis, save the Nasdaq as a whole? Sure, absolutely. Again, we've been seeing a lot of stick saves for the bulls in the last couple of years, but this is kind of important. This is kind of where we're going to segue into a second ago. In a second, this is what happens when you lose the 50-day moving average. So the SMH has lost the 50-day moving average on August the 17th, and we've gone basically from 600 all the way down to 540, right? This is why it's important to understand the 50-day dynamics of which way the wind is blowing. And now we are an inch away, guys, right down this level of 540. This 540, 541 level is going to be very, very important for the SMHs going forward. That is the 100-day support. If it loses the 100-day support, especially on the close, then you see this whole patch, right? This whole area pocket that we could go all the way back down to the 729 lows of 503. And this is kind of what's correlating to 513, which is the 150-day support. I don't think you're going to get a massive move one way or another until NVIDIA comes out with earnings, but this is at least a barometer that you're aware of. Again, just write this down. SMHs, any close below 541, 540, and you have at least 20-25 points to the downside for a potential test of the July lows. Now, why is that important? Again, why are we segueing on the SMHs and harping about the importance of that 50-day close? Well, the Qs first closed now below the 50-day moving average since right here, right? Since right here, which was July the 15th. Again, July the 15th, first close. We went from 724 all the way down to 660 in a matter of 2 weeks. The Q stopped right on the 65 EMA. I'm even going to give you the prices on the Qs. If the Qs lose this 703 level on the close, right, lose 703 on the close, then you got room to 696, 692, and obviously, if there is going to be a very exaggerated drop, if indeed, this again, we're just kind of putting everybody in the right frame of mind. If there is going to be a big drop in the SMHs, there's probably going to be a big drop in the Nasdaq, again, considering the amount of weight a lot of these stocks have. So any close, and this is kind of putting a little bit of the cart in front of the horse, but any close below 692, 696, you can see how much room you have to the downside. So the bulls need to kind of get back, man, right? The bulls need to kind of get back. But when you see the price action, especially in the semiconductor group, it's going to be very, very tough for bids not to get hit. The only solace you have here is the argument, well, nobody's here, guys, right? Nobody's here. People are on vacation. We talked about the last couple of weeks of going into Labor Day. My son finally started his first day of classes today. I'm sure your kids are either starting or starting in a couple of weeks. So this is kind of like the last vacation, the last hurrah for people for the last moments of summer. So again, I don't think we're going to get the true nature of the market for a potential fourth quarter move one way or another until after Labor Day. But, if you are an active trader, this is very important to understand now. So you have 702, 703 on the close on the Qs, that is going to start a very aggressive, violent cycle. If you are looking for some silver linings. Yeah, I mean, some of the mega cap Magnificent Seven stocks did well today. Google, if the market could somehow rally, got rejected off the 50-day. If Google could get back above the 50-day moving average, sure, this thing looks great, right? Amazon had some pretty good call buying today, got rejected off the 10-day. Sure, if Amazon could get back above the 10-day, I'll be interested as well, right? Sure, to the upside as well. Tesla got rejected Friday off the 50-day moving average and came all the way back to retest the 5-day. Again, above the 50-day moving average, and they're still coming in with romantic bets of the 360, 370 short-term expiration. Sure, if this thing gets back above the 50-day moving average, of course I'm a buyer, 100%. But there is a flip side, right? What happens tomorrow if Tesla loses the 5-day moving average? Again, if you've been watching this broadcast for years and years and years, I'm in love with the range. I'm not in love with the stock. I couldn't care less if Tesla goes up or down. So if Tesla can get back above the 50-day moving average, I'm a buyer. If Tesla can lose the 5-day moving average, I am a seller, at least for short term, to the downside. The best bets are probably going to be to the downside on semiconductors, right? Again, I'm not going to go through the whole group, but here's a couple of names that look really, really good, and then I have to run, right? You got a Vago, right? You got a Vago still suffering from the Google partnership from Marvell. Guys, look how close this thing is. This thing loses last week's lows. This Avago is going to get hit, right? Look at this thing. This thing is, tomorrow will be day 5 in this whole range. It's a week worth of range. This thing loses last week's lows. It's going to get hit. Look at Micron, right? Look at Micron. Micron lost the 50-day moving average. This is the first close below it. It held up on the 65-day EMA. Now, what happens if the 65-day EMA gets lost tomorrow, right? This thing loses the 65 EMA. There's like 50, 60 points of measured potential for the next downside move. So if you're going to be looking at the direction of weakness, continuation of weakness, look at the semiconductors. Again, is it possible they get a dead cat bounce tomorrow? Sure. Again, I'm not guessing. I'm not trying to guess. I'm not trying to predict. I'm just trying to put you in a situation that they start losing specific channels, those price actions should follow. We've been seeing now back-to-back months. Actually, it's been a lot of months. It's been one day that the Mag 7 stocks are strong. The Microsofts, the Metas, the Googles, the Amazons of the world, and the next day they're weak, and then these semiconductor stocks rally. So it's going to be very interesting to see what happens tomorrow. But right now, we did give you guys very, very specific levels for the Qs and the SMHs going into the foreseeable future. Let's see what happens. But again, the longer we stay below the 50-day moving average on the Nasdaq 100, the higher probability we are going to see lower prices. So the bull's job in the next couple of days, start reclaiming some big levels. Start negating some bad news. Start, deflecting, big washouts, right? Start engulfing them. Again, if the buyers are getting restless and the sellers are getting aggressive, and you are building below, big macro levels, nothing good's going to happen if you are a perma-bull long-sided trader. Guys, unfortunately, I have to run. Hope everybody's doing well. I just wanted to kind of put you guys in the right frame of mind, at least going into tomorrow's session. We'll see what happens. We'll see how it plays out. Guys, God bless. I will see you all tomorrow. Take care.